Everyone. When you think about what Brian accomplished during his time with us, it is incredible to grasp how many different ways he gave back to our community. The presence of so many departments, groups, organizations, and individuals here with us this morning demonstrates the impact Brian had on so many. By dedicating our parks, fields, and monuments, we as a community strive to not just honor those we are memorializing, but to inspire those who will stand in their presence in the future. This morning, we are standing at the same field that Brian played t-ball in when he was a kid. While growing up in Cromwell, Brian would spend time here playing sports, watching his sister Maureen play softball, meeting up with friends, or being with family and friends to celebrate annual events like the neighborhood 4th of July party or Halloween party. For the aspiring athletes of the future who will come here to play, Brian's presence will promote the values of honor, duty, and fidelity, the guiding principles that he and the troopers with us today embody day in and day out. If we are so lucky to have just a percentage of those who use this park be inspired by his story, Morris Township and New Jersey as a whole will stand to benefit greatly. Everyone remembers the school project we all had at some point. What do you want to be when you grow up? You'll often hear young kids respond with police officer or firefighter or other noble professions along those lines, roles that we encourage our children to aspire towards. Well, I think Brian may have missed the part about choosing just one of those roles. Because looking around this park today and seeing all of the men and women in uniform with us, it is clear that he just chose most of them. But that is one of the greatest things about dedicating his old neighborhood field in his honor. His legacy of service will now further encourage our future generations to give back, just as it inspires all of us to do today. Morris Township has been blessed to have the McNally family with us over the years, and Cromwell specifically for 25. As we know, Brian grew up in the township, first in Fairchild and then here in Cromwell. He lifeguarded across the street at Cromwell Pool, where his sister Maureen was his boss one summer, and where they gave now one future Olympian swimming lessons. Brian joined Boy Scout Troop 34, who led us earlier in the Pledge of Allegiance, and became an Eagle Scout in the Court of Honor with our Assistant Superintendent of Parks and Recreation, Tim Hanfeld. He would later become a certified EMT and volunteered with the Morris Minutemen, who are also joining us today. And 2 years later became a volunteer firefighter with the Morris Township Fire Department at Fairchild Fire Company, whose new ladder truck is just behind us. If that wasn't enough to keep him busy in his teens, Brian was also the co-president of the Heritage Club and volunteered with Morris Habitat for Humanity. It's no wonder why eventually he attended officer candidate school at the Citadel and became a commissioned officer in the Marine Corps upon graduation in 2010. He served on active duty with the Marines for 4 years, including a tour in Afghanistan, and continued his service in the Marine Corps Reserves as a captain. In 2014, Brian graduated from the New Jersey State Police Academy. With several of his classmates are here with us today. As a trooper, he was stationed at Washington Barracks in Warren County. He was laid to rest in Arlington National Cemetery. Many of us here knew Brian in different ways. As a friend, neighbor, first responder, trooper, Marine, veteran, cousin, brother, or son. We all carry with us the memories we have with Brian to celebrate his life and to tell his story to those who didn't have the chance to meet him. I first met Brian when I joined Troop 34 at Assumption, but I got to know him better when he was a volunteer at Fairchild. I'll always remember him going out of his way to help other firefighters like myself during training to ensure that they were confident in what they were learning. Going out of his way above and beyond what was expected of him, just to help others. That is the Brian I will not forget. It will be a challenge for most of us, to live up to the legacy of service Brian left for us. He did his part. By dedicating this field and unveiling his sign, we reach an important milestone. Now it is time And now it is up to us to be good stewards of this legacy so that it stands the test of time. I now have the distinct pleasure to introduce the First Lady of the state of New Jersey, Tammy Murphy. As many may know, the First Lady, along with the Governor, have shown great support for the McNallys over the past several years, and we are incredibly grateful for her to come take time with us to help dedicate this park this morning.